What if everything you learned about Genesis was backwards? What if the God who created the world wasn't the true God, but an ignorant, jealous pretender who didn't know there was a higher power above him? What if the serpent in Eden wasn't the villain, but the one trying to free humanity from a lie? This is the secret book of John, a Gnostic gospel that rewrites the entire Bible, and this is why the church fought to destroy it. December 1945, Upper Egypt, near the town of Nag Hammadi. A farmer digging for fertilizer strikes a sealed earthenware jar. Inside, 13 leather-bound codices, 52 texts in Coptic, hidden for 1600 years. Among them, the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Philip, and the secret book of John. The most complete Gnostic creation myth ever discovered. We have 4 complete copies of the secret book of John. 3 from Nag Hammadi Codex 2, 3, and 4. 1 from the Berlin Codex, purchased in 1896 but only published decades later when scholars realized what they had. 2 long versions. 2 short versions. All in Coptic, translated from Greek, probably composed in the 2nd century. Before the canon was finalized. Before orthodoxy won. So what's in this secret book? A divine feminine figure who falls from grace. A blind God with the face of a lion and the body of a serpent. A creation story where matter itself is a cosmic mistake. An arisen Christ who reveals the truth that the church doesn't want you to know. Let's begin. The text opens with John, son of Zebedee, leaving the temple after a Pharisee named Arminius mocks him. Where is your teacher now, the one you followed? John retreats to the wilderness, grieving, and then a vision. The heavens open, light fills everything. A figure appears, child, old man, servant, all at once, shifting, radiant, speaking in paradox. I am the Father, I am the Mother, I am the child. I have come to teach you what is, what was, and what is to come. Christ tells John to write everything down, but not for everyone. Only for those who are from the unshakable race, those who can receive gnosis, knowledge that awakens. This isn't a gospel for the masses. It's esoteric, secret, dangerous. And what Christ reveals will turn every Sunday school lesson upside down. Around 180 CE, Irenaeus, Bishop of Lyons, wrote against heresies, a 5-volume attack on Gnostic Christianity. He explicitly mentions a secret book of John among the forged writings of heretics. Why? Because it threatened everything the emerging Orthodox Church was building. Apostolic authority, institutional sacraments, the God of the Old Testament as the one true God. The secret book of John said, no, that God is a fraud. This wasn't just a theological debate. It was a war for the soul of Christianity. Gnostics said salvation comes through secret knowledge revealed by Christ. Orthodox Christianity said salvation comes through the church, the sacraments, and obedience to bishops. One worldview had to die, and the secret book of John was on the losing side. Until 1945. Christ begins by describing the true God, not the God of Genesis, the God above that God. The One, the Monad, the invisible Spirit, pure light, no measurement, no time, no attributes, beyond thought. This God doesn't create with hands, doesn't speak worlds into existence, doesn't need worship or obedience. The One simply is, unknowable, ineffable, the source of everything. From the One emanates Barbello, the first power, forethought, the universal womb. She is not created. She proceeds, like light from light. Barbello asks the One for foreknowledge, incorruptibility, eternal life, and truth. And these become divine attributes, eons, forming the Pleroma, the fullness of the divine realm. This is a universe where the divine feminine is essential, where God is not a solitary king but a generative principle. Through Barbello, the anointed child, Christ, comes into being, and from Christ and his consort incorruptibility, for great luminaries emerge. Each luminary governs divine powers, Jerodamas the perfect human, Seth his son, angels and authorities who exist in pure spirit. This is the Pleroma, the fullness, the realm of light where nothing is ignorant, nothing is jealous, nothing creates through error. Not yet. Among the eons is Sophia, wisdom. She is associated with afterthought, contemplation, desire. And here's where everything goes wrong. Sophia wants to create something on her own, without her consort, without permission, out of love, or pride, or loneliness. The text doesn't say. She acts, alone, and what emerges is catastrophe. Sophia produces something, but because she acted without her consort, it's malformed. It came out different, not like her. It had the form of a snake with the face of a lion. She names it Yaldabaoth, and immediately she hides it, casts it away from the Pleroma, surrounds it with a luminous cloud so the other eons won't see her mistake. Sophia realizes what she's done. She repents. The fullness, the entire Pleroma, helps her. She's restored to her place, but her offspring remains outside. Yaldabaoth, the abortion, the ignorant god. He has power from his mother, but he doesn't know where it came from. He doesn't know the Pleroma exists. He doesn't know there's a true God above him. And this ignorance will define everything he creates. Yaldabaoth takes the power he stole from Sophia and creates. He fashions 12 authorities, 7 rulers over 7 heavens, angels and archons in realms of fire. And then he proclaims, I am God, and there is no other God beside me. Sound familiar? The text's logic is devastating. If Yaldabaoth says, I am God and there is no other, then he's either lying or ignorant. If he were truly the only God, why would he need to say it? Who's he trying to convince? The statement itself proves another, higher God exists, one Yaldabaoth doesn't know about. The God of the Old Testament, proclaiming, I am a jealous God? That's Yaldabaoth, blind, envious, ignorant. The text gives Yaldabaoth other names. Sakla, the fool, Samel, blind God. He's also called the demiurge, the craftsman, the one who shapes matter, but not out of divine wisdom, out of arrogance and ignorance. He imitates what he dimly perceives from above, the pattern of the Pleroma, but he doesn't understand it. Creation becomes a counterfeit. Yaldabaoth creates subordinate archons, rulers of the material cosmos. Each has an animal face: lion, donkey, hyena, serpent, ape, dragon, swine. These are the powers that govern the world. Not divine, not good, bestial, ignorant, driven by appetite and control. The material world isn't sacred. It's a prison ruled by monsters. Then something breaks through. Yaldabaoth and his archons see a reflection in the cosmic waters, an image of the perfect human from the Pleroma above. They're terrified, amazed, and they decide, come, let us create a human being after the image of God and in our likeness. Genesis language, but reassigned. The archons create Adam, not the true God. The archons fashion Adam's body. Each contributes a part: bone, sinew, flesh, marrow. But he lies lifeless, soulless, a shell, until Yaldabaoth, tricked by the powers above, breathes into Adam, and accidentally transfers the divine spark Sophia gave him. Adam wakes, and immediately he's wiser than his creators. The archons realize their mistake. They've made something that surpasses them. The archons panic. Adam is too powerful, too knowing. So they cast him into matter, into a body, into forgetfulness. They create Eden not as paradise, but as a cage. The tree of life, poison. Its fruit brings death. The tree of knowledge, that's the one that brings awakening, liberation, gnosis, and Yaldabaoth forbids it. The powers above send a helper, Zoe, life. She enters Eve. When Yaldabaoth tries to defile Eve, the divine power leaves her and enters the tree of knowledge. Eve becomes the vessel of awakening, the one through whom liberation will come. Not the source of sin, the agent of gnosis. Then comes the serpent. In Genesis, the serpent is Satan, the deceiver. In the secret book of John, the serpent is an instructor sent from above. Eat from the tree of knowledge. Don't let Yaldabaoth keep you ignorant. The serpent tells the truth. Yaldabaoth is the liar. Adam and Eve eat. Their eyes open. They see. They know. Yaldabaoth realizes what happened, and he's furious. He curses the serpent, curses Adam and Eve, expels them from Eden. Not because they sinned against the true God, because they escaped his control. The fall, in Gnostic terms, isn't humanity's tragedy. It's humanity's first liberation. The text gets darker. Yaldabaoth and his archons defile Eve, producing Cain and Abel, offspring of violence and ignorance. Then Adam and Eve conceive Seth, the pure lineage, the unshakable race. The battle between light and darkness isn't cosmic. It's genetic. Lineages of archons versus children of gnosis. The archons see Seth's descendants spreading gnosis, teaching, awakening, so they decide to wipe them out. The flood isn't God's judgment on sin. It's Yaldabaoth's attempt to exterminate those who know the truth. But the powers above save Noah and the enlightened ones. The archons fail. The pattern repeats throughout the text. Sodom and Gomorrah, the archons destroying seekers of gnosis. The patriarchs, some are enlightened, some are blind. The law, written by the demiurge to keep humanity enslaved. Every story, inverted, subverted, reinterpreted through the lens of cosmic ignorance versus divine knowledge. So why did Christ come? Not to die for sins, to reveal the truth, to teach humanity that they're trapped in a false creation ruled by an ignorant God, to awaken the divine spark within, to show the way back to the Pleroma. Salvation isn't forgiveness. It's knowledge, gnosis, awakening from the lie. Why did the Church condemn this text? Let's count the heresies. 1. The God of the Old Testament is evil. 2. Matter is a cosmic mistake. 3. The serpent is the hero. 4. Salvation doesn't require the Church. 5. Secret knowledge, public faith. 6. No need for bishops, sacraments, or apostolic authority. The secret book of John dismantles everything Orthodox Christianity was building. Orthodox Christians accused Gnostics of dualism, spirit good, matter evil. If matter is a mistake, why did God create it? If the body is a prison, why did Christ take flesh? Gnostics answered, the true God didn't create matter. Yaldabaoth did. Christ didn't really have a body, he appeared to, but it was an illusion. Docetism, dualism, incompatible with incarnation theology. The deeper threat? Politics. If salvation comes through secret knowledge revealed by Christ directly to the individual, you don't need bishops. You don't need priests. You don't need the institutional church. Gnosticism was radically egalitarian and radically individualistic. Women could be teachers. Anyone could receive gnosis. The emerging Catholic Church needed hierarchy, structure, control. The secret book of John said, you don't. So Irenaeus and other church fathers fought back. They wrote polemics, established canons, drew boundaries, declared heresy. These texts are forgeries. These teachers are deceivers. The God of Genesis is the true God. The Church is the path to salvation. By the 4th century, Gnostic Christianity was marginalized, then persecuted, then buried, until a farmer dug up a jar in 1945. The secret book of John proves something crucial. Early Christianity wasn't one unified faith. It was a battlefield of competing visions. Gnostic Christians, Jewish Christians, Gentile Christians, Marcionites, Ebionites, Valentinians, all claiming to follow Christ, all reading different texts, all with radically different theologies. The winners wrote the history, but Nag Hammadi gave the losers a voice. Today, the secret book of John resonates with modern seekers. Those drawn to mysticism over dogma, direct experience over institutional authority, the divine feminine over patriarchal God images. It's influenced New Age spirituality, Jungian psychology, science fiction, Philip K. Dick, The Matrix, and feminist theology. Not because it's true, because it asks questions orthodoxy couldn't. At the heart of the secret book of John is one haunting question. If the creator of this world is all good and all powerful, why is the world so broken? Gnostics answered, he's not. The creator is ignorant and flawed, and there's a higher God who wants to free us. Orthodox Christians answered, the creator is good. Humanity is fallen. Redemption comes through grace. Two answers. One still shapes theology. The other was buried for 1600 years. The secret book of John was condemned by Irenaeus, buried in the desert, lost for over a millennium. But it survived. For copies, 13 codices, a sealed jar. The heresy endures, not because it's true, but because the questions it asks won't go away. This is the secret book of John. Genesis rewritten, the God of the Old Testament exposed as a fraud, the serpent as liberator, and Christ as the one who reveals it all. The Church called it heresy. History called it lost. But the questions it raises about power, knowledge, the nature of God, and who gets to decide what's true, those questions are still alive. This is Underlight Histories, where the overlooked is illuminated. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you next time.